guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kylene if you don't know me. Today, as you guys can see from the title, I am filming a pregnancy Q&A, just some questions that you guys had for me. If you guys want to be involved in the next Q&A I do or anything that like I ask you guys, make sure you're following me on my Instagram. It's at Kylene Royale. What the heck? Sorry, something just like stabbed me. Wow, that hurt. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I just asked questions on Instagram, so if you guys want to participate next time, just follow me there. And I'm just gonna get right into it. There's a lot of questions, so I'm gonna be looking on my phone and reading them. But the first one was, how did your parents react? Did you record their responses? So unfortunately, I did not record their responses. No one's really used to being on camera. YouTube is a very new thing to me. And so luckily I was able to record our own, but even that like was kind of, I didn't think I would be able to do that. My parents were very excited. My mom was like, convinced. She was like, I knew it. I'm like, how? I was 4 weeks pregnant, I don't know. But yeah, they all were super excited. I'm trying to think, like my siblings are just, they were just excited. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of not expected, but like we got married, we bought a house, like, and they were just like, okay, that's the next thing they're gonna do is have a kid. And then Nathaniel's parents were super excited too. His dad was like really shocked at first. He was like, why is there a, because we gave him like a onesie and like it took him a second to like realize we were telling him that we were pregnant. So it was super fun. I wish I could have recorded, but I do feel like they would have felt like uncomfortable if I would have. So I'm kind of glad we just kept that to ourselves. Okay, next question is, how has your pregnancy been until now? And luckily I've had a really good pregnancy. I was nauseous for a couple weeks, but I've never actually gotten sick. I haven't thrown up or anything. I have of course had symptoms. Like I feel like no pregnancy doesn't have a single symptom. My biggest things have just been like being tired, being out of breath, as I'm sure you guys can tell. And yeah, just like some cramping. I've been getting a lot of like around ligament pain, especially since I'm getting bigger right now. I can really feel like my lower stomach is just getting so hard. And yeah, but besides like all those just like simple things, I've really enjoyed pregnancy. It's nothing like I expected, but honestly in the best way possible. And I still want 4 kids, so we'll see if that changes once I deliver and once I have a baby here. So next question was, do you have any cravings? And I don't really think I like have specific things that I've been craving. I always like heard pregnancy cravings were crazy and like you would just like have to get it and like have it right then and there. But I haven't really had an instant like that. I feel like my cravings aren't any different than they would if I wasn't pregnant. Like I see something and I'm like, that sounds good, and then I want it. But like, it's not like I have to have it, you know, which I kind of thought that's how it would be. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Like I can't even think of anything. I've loved fruit. I mean, I always love fruit, but like strawberries and watermelon are so delicious to me right now. I of course love sweets. I love chips. Like I just love all the bad foods too, but yeah, nothing too crazy. Next question was, what prenatal do I take? Which I'm gonna have to insert it here because I don't really remember the name of it. I just know that it all comes from like actual foods. I'm just really picky about supplements because I used to work for a supplement company and just like understanding like if you're actually gonna receive the nutrients that are in it. And so the company I use, like everything comes from like a fruit or a vegetable. So, okay, next question is, what is your biggest piece of advice for your first trimester? Now, like I said, I was very fortunate. I wasn't ever throwing up. I did have a few weeks, like I said, that I was nauseous, that were pretty miserable, but the key things I feel like I would say is like, take your pregnancy as your own. Don't let others like opinions or other people's pregnancies make you feel like that's how yours is gonna be. I feel like your mind is a huge like powerful thing, and I mentioned this in my first trimester video if you guys want to watch that. But if you tell yourself that you're gonna get sick and it's gonna be horrible, then you probably will. In my mind, that's kind of like how I figured it out. So kind of just like take it as it goes. I also recommend to like eat consistently, drink water consistently, like don't eat huge crazy meals, don't go periods of time without eating. And yeah, I hope that you just have an easy pregnancy because it has been amazing. Like I just can't even imagine being sick. I don't know. I have a few friends that have been sick for a long time and it just like, I don't think I could do it 4 times if that was the case. I literally cannot throw up. So I hope that was helpful, but just have an open mind, be positive, and just try and be as healthy as possible. Okay, next question is what to do to prevent stretch marks. Now, I like totally believe they're genetic if you get them. Like if you're gonna get them, it's because, well, there's 2 things. Like genetics plays a huge role. But the other thing is I really do believe like what you put into your body affects it. So I know that like staying hydrated and eating healthy fats helps make your skin more elastic. I learned this in nutrition as well. So whenever your skin is stretching, it allows it to stretch without being like torn. And so I always try and eat avocados, chia seeds, like anything like that that I can just throw in, like nut butters, cashews, things like that, just healthy sources of fats. And then I try and drink, like I try and get close to a gallon a day. I don't normally hit that every single day, but if I can get close, like I always like to shoot for the stars, and if I get close, then sweet. And then I also do use bio oil on my stomach. I'm not as like religious as I should be with it, but I put that on my stomach, my hips, my butt, and my boobs. So I like literally lather my entire area that is stretching. Another thing too that I'm trying to do is just be cautious of my weight gain and not allow my skin to stretch like more than it should, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all, but I really don't want like to, no one does, I'm sure, but I don't want to gain any extra weight than I need to. And so I feel like that will help prevent like my skin getting stretched even more. I hope that makes sense. Okay, next question is, what has been your most annoying pregnancy symptom? So 100% the one that I'm dealing with right now is like reflux or just like indigestion. My stomach is getting so squished that like I can tell my actual stomach is like getting pushed up. So anytime I eat something, if I like don't stay upright, like I almost like throw up in my mouth, and it's disgusting, like because you end up just swallowing it, which is so nasty. But yeah, that's the most annoying thing, like especially after dinner. Like I don't know if any of you are pregnant and you deal with this, but like ever since I've gotten pregnant, my dinners, I feel like I've eaten a Thanksgiving dinner every single time. Like I'm just so tired after dinner, and so I want to go lay down, but now like anytime I lay down, I feel like I'm gonna throw up because things are just like coming up. So that's a fun one for sure. Next question is, what did you do differently to start trying for a baby? So we really didn't do much. We got really lucky. The only thing we did differently was we stopped preventing getting pregnant. And so we kind of just like left it in the air. I didn't think that I would get pregnant that quick. I honestly didn't think I would get pregnant until like February, and I got pregnant within the first month of not trying, which I know is like super lucky, but yeah, I wouldn't say we really did much. Someone asked too, how long did you try before becoming pregnant? And like I said, it was literally only like a month. I know everyone's infertility like stories are different, and my heart is to anyone who like it takes forever. But I had been off birth control for a long time, and so I was starting to actually feel like nervous that I wouldn't get pregnant because I wasn't on birth control for like 4 years. So I remember talking about that in my announcing that I'm pregnant video. Like I was just in like such tears because I was so relieved that my body could get pregnant. And yeah, it's just such a fear with everything. Like I feel like everything is always fearful while you're pregnant. So I don't know, my biggest advice is like to not stress too much about it and try not to be, I don't know, I feel like what worked for me was just to like let it like be out of my hands. Stop being careful, so clearly you can get pregnant, but I never tracked anything or did anything to track ovulation or anything like that, because I just kind of wanted to like let it be, you know? I don't know. But this kind of goes with the next question, because someone asked, was your husband on board with having a baby, or did he want to wait? I'm ready, but my husband isn't. And I would have had a baby like 4 or 5 years ago if I could have. I've wanted a baby for so long. I have a nephew that is 4.5. My best friend has a daughter that's 5 years old, or almost 5. She'll be 5 in August, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and so I've just been around kids for a long time, and Nathaniel wasn't ready for a long time, which is totally fine. He's a year younger than me. We were still in school while this was happening, and he really just wanted to like make sure that like he graduated and got a job and could like afford to our best ability of the life it would take to have a baby. But for a while he was not on board, and my biggest thing is just be patient, wait for it, because you don't want to bring, like I never wanted to have a kid if Nathaniel didn't want the kid, if that makes sense. And honestly, the waiting period has just been like now that we're out of it and we're pregnant, like it's just so much more exciting, because we have like, I've been so patient for this moment, and I've wanted to be a mom for so long that it's even more special. I mean, it clearly would still be special if you got pregnant earlier, but my biggest advice is just be patient, don't push them. Yeah, I don't know, I hope that helps. Another question was, did you wait till you were financially stable to become pregnant? It wasn't necessarily that we were waiting for finances, it was just to make sure that like we were graduated college, we had our house lined up, like things like that. So I mean, I don't think you can ever really fully prepare to have a baby, no matter even if you do have tons of money and all these things set up for you. But we wanted to like struggle as little as possible was the goal. So we did wait in order, or we waited for a time that we felt was right for us. Next question is, where do you plan to deliver? Who's your doctor? So if you guys are in Arizona, I plan on delivering at Mercy Gilbert. I don't have a specific doctor right now. I've just been seeing midwives and nurse practitioners. So I don't really know who's gonna actually deliver me. I don't really have a preference. But yeah, definitely delivering at Mercy. My sister-in-law delivered there, my friend delivered there. Like I just feel comfortable delivering there because I've seen like how they've done with people and I've really enjoyed this experience. Are you doing a natural birth or using meds? So of course, I don't know. I honestly would love to deliver naturally, but it terrifies me so much. My mom had 7 kids and 6 out of the 7 she delivered naturally. She only had an epidural with her last because there was like complications. And then my mother-in-law delivered all 3 of her babies naturally. So like there's a slight like pressure for me that like I know they did it so I can do it, but I also don't want to make my delivery like any worse than I need to. I've watched so many freaking birth vlogs and I've seen so many things go wrong, and that's what scares me. And I've seen people be so passionate about not like having an epidural where they put their body in so much stress that they like are forced to then have one or have a C-section or things like that, and I don't want that to happen either. So my birth plan as of now is to go as long as I can without an epidural, but I want to be told like at the last point I can have one, and I want to have that option of having one. So I don't know. I'm kind of just trying to have an open mind and just kind of take things as they go. I really would like to not have a C-section if I can, but if that's what it comes down to, then that's what it is too. So yeah, going off of like if I would prefer to have a natural or a medicated birth, someone asked like if I have a birth plan, like delayed cord cutting, skin to skin immediately with baby, that kind of thing. I definitely think I need to do more research on this. I 100% want to do skin to skin with a baby for me and for Nathaniel. But as far as like delayed cord cutting goes and things like that, like I don't feel like I have enough research on that. Like I honestly couldn't tell you like all the benefits. I know that like it delivers more nutrients and that kind of thing, but I don't really have like a super intense like plan for that. Again, I probably should do more research, but I still have like 4 months or so. So I haven't really thought about that yet. So honestly, I don't know. Okay, next question is, what are you most excited about for giving birth? What scares you the most? So the most exciting thing I clearly like just think is like just seeing my baby for the first time. I'm also excited for like Nathaniel to support me during the labor, and then like for them just to like bring the baby up on me, and like I'm just excited to like look at him and look at Nathaniel and just feel like a family. Like that honestly makes me want to cry just even saying that, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just excited for our lives to change like in the best way possible. I don't know, I just freaking can't wait to have him here and to be a mom. On the contrary, what am I nervous about? I am terrified about like the after process of birth. I watched my sister-in-law deliver her 2nd kid, and there's a lot that goes on after you deliver that people don't talk about, and I'm not going to tell her story for you guys, but it just is scary. Like there's a lot going on and there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and it just like watching it, I was just like terrified for her. So yeah, I really hope that like everything goes as best as possible. Just a funny one too, if you guys want to laugh with me, but I'm terrified to shit my pants. Honestly, that's like something like if I have people in the room, like I don't want to poop while I deliver. So that's another thing I'm like that's a silly fear, but it's definitely something I'm nervous about. Another question was, are you wanting to have other people in your delivery room for birth? And honestly, I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out entirely. Of course I want Nathaniel and I would love to have my mom, but I don't know what the regulations are going to be for the hospitals, and so I kind of just don't want to get my hopes up of potentially having more people and not being able to. And then I also just don't know like how much of a crowd I want in there. Like I just really don't know. That's something people have asked me from the beginning, and I still just like don't have a complete answer. So we'll see. Someone asked, will you film the birth? And I want to so bad. Again, it's gonna depend on like who's all gonna be in there, but at the bare minimum, I want to just like record updates of like how I'm feeling while I'm laboring, and then potentially just set up a tripod and like record me pushing and like him coming onto my chest. I really want to be able to look back on that. I'm just hoping that like in the midst of it all, I can think of that. Nathaniel isn't really like a recorder, so I'm not going to put that on him, and I don't want to take away from his experience. But if I can just like remember to put the camera right before I'm going to push like on a tripod or a camera near, or just have someone do that for me, then I 100% will. And if I do film it, I will share it with you guys. Someone also asked, which I know I kind of briefly touched on this, but are you nervous to deliver the baby? And I really am. I watched my sister-in-law deliver, like I said, and that honestly made me a little scared. Made me respect her quite a bit, but it's also just really terrifying. Like it's a painful experience whether you have an epidural or you don't, and yeah, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Another question was, since you are self-employed, how much time are you wanting to take off for the baby? So I do have 2 weddings within 6 to 7 weeks postpartum. And then from there on out, from each month, I still have 2 weddings. So I have 2 weddings in October, 2 in November, 2 in December, and then I have 3 in January. So I think as far as like taking regular shoots on, I'm not gonna take any until maybe like November, but I will be shooting weddings pretty soon afterwards, which I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that yet. I'm not gonna take on any more in those 3 or 4 months that I already have said, but I still do want to contribute. I still do need to like make an income, and yeah, I don't know. Next question is about me and Nathaniel, and she asked, how has your relationship grown? What are you most excited for? Nathaniel and I's relationship grew a lot before we got pregnant. Last year, between like getting married and getting pregnant, we just took a lot of time to have really deep conversations with each other, and I feel like it just like made us closer and made us have a better understanding of like the parents we want to be and the life we want to live. And I like honestly think like 2019 is my favorite year with him so far. Like it was so, like we did so many things, but besides all of that, like I just loved like the way that we grew. We clearly now have to think about more than just ourselves, which is exciting. Like we've never had to do that this entire time, and I don't know, I'm just so excited. Like I think what I'm most excited for is clearly to like hold my baby, but like to see Nathaniel be a dad, and like to see our son look up to him and like the person that he is. And I don't know, I'm just excited to like have our little family grow and just have him here. So I feel like there's so many things I could say for that, but I'm really excited just to see Nathaniel in us and just like have like a new life, you know? I don't know. Okay, the last question that I have on here is, what is the biggest lesson you hope to teach your son? And that is like one of my favorite questions, but also I feel like there's so many things that I hope he learns. 2 of the biggest things, I'm gonna say 2 even though she asked for 1, but 2 of the biggest things that I hope come to mind is, 1, I hope he is just a kind human. I hope he's respectful. I hope like I teach him to be kind and giving and be there for other people and just be a good person. I don't know, like I want people to leave being around him and be like, that's a good kid, you know? I don't know. And then my other thing is, I just want him to know that like anything is possible. Like literally, no matter what he wants to do in this world, he can do it. And I just hope he knows that he always has the love and support from us. That's a huge thing my parents were big on, was the way that people are able to succeed is knowing that they belong and knowing that they're loved. And so I just like, of course, want him to know that as well. And with that, like be able to just kind of do whatever he wants to do in this life. So yeah, I don't know why. I feel like this entire video I've been like on the verge of tears. Like I'm just so excited. I don't know, just to finally get to be a mom. I've wanted to be a mom, like literally, that's what I said I wanted to be growing up as a kid. So it's just so fun. But anyways, before I start bawling, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other pregnancy related questions, leave them down below, or you can always DM me on Instagram. It's just at Kylene Rael. I'll leave all of that below for you too. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.